Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive, Moonstone. Ciao and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends last Walgreens exclusive of 2022. It is of course Marvel's Moonstone. Now, obviously, I'm in the UK. There are no Walgreens. Therefore, it is not an exclusive. I brought mine from In Demand Toys. I will put the link in the description, but she is available in all the places you buy your Marvel Legends over here in the UK. And to be fair, it is a re-release of a figure that we have already got, but that was nearly 10 years ago now. So I think stuff like this is fair game, as people like myself missed out the first time around. She was in the 2013 San Diego Comic-Con Thunderbolts box set, and let's be honest, back in those days, importing Marvel Legends wasn't a cheap or easy thing, so I never got that box set. I've picked up a few of the figures over time, but always missed out on Moonstone, so I am welcoming this re-release of a character I would like to add to the collection. Now, is she 10 years worthy of an update? That's a question we're about to answer, but here we have the plastic-free packaging. Love it or hate it, it is unfortunately the new normal now. The digital render on the front, a much better comic image here on the side. This needs to be on the front some way. On the back, another digital render with a little plus sign that shows you what accessories we got. A little lackluster, as we only get a set of interchangeable hands. No cross sale, no wave association, not even a bio. So if you don't know who Moonstone is, you're shit out of luck, because Hasbro ain't telling you. On this side, you get a digital render of the figure. So yeah, without further ado, let's get it open. Here we have Dr. Karla Sofen, aka Moonstone, out of the packaging with all of her accessories, which, as I said, little lackluster, just a set of interchangeable expressive hands. Off the top of my head, some effect pieces, maybe an interchangeable head with a different facial expression would have really made this figure more desirable, especially for the people who may already have Moonstone in their collection. But technically, if we break it down, it is still an upgrade, as they have gave us the double jointed pinless arms, and we've got the digital face printing tech on the face, which does look really nice in person. We'll zoom in and take a look at that in a minute. But first, let's just break down why is she wearing this outfit. So as I was saying, Dr. Karla Sofen is a master manipulator, and she's a doctor in psychology, and she used those skills to steal the actual Moonstone from the guy in jail. So she wasn't even the first person to be called that, and she's been called many different things in the Marvel universe, especially in the modern era, wearing different outfits as well. So breaking them down real quick, she was masquerading as Meteorite when she was pretending to be a good guy for a little while, and she was also recruited by Norman Osborn to be Miss Marvel in his Dark Avengers. And spoiler alert, Carol Danvers wasn't very happy about that either. But the costume we're getting on this figure today is definitely from the Thunderbolts era. A few different iterations, not just Baron Zemo, but also Luke Cage's Thunderbolts. So yeah, this is the more modernized costume for Moonstone in recent time. Zooming in to take a closer look at this upgraded face sculpt with the digital face printing tech, which really does make a difference. I like the darker lips, the dark eyeshadow, the blue eyes definitely stand out against the white mask on the face. And this has to be an upgrade compared to the original version. Again, I apologise, I don't have that original Moonstone. If I can find a decent enough picture online, I'll throw up a quick side by side if I can find one. But it has to be better, right? Surely, after nearly 10 years, it has to be an upgraded face sculpt. So in person, I assure you, it is really nice. And even the hair itself as well is like a dirty blonde, as it has like a dark sort of brownish wash over the blonde hair, which brings out all the nice sculpted detail. So no complaints on the head sculpt at all. Goes over both shoulders, as you can see, nicely sculpted. And yeah, it's got a nice darker wash in it as well, like a dirty blonde. I think that's the best way to explain it. But the hair, as you can see, because it goes over both shoulders, it will sort of lock the head in position and will make it sort of limited on posing. It is on a disc and hinge, so you can get it looking down more than you can looking back, but it's probably more about the tilt here on this head sculpt because of that. So yeah, the hair will lock it in position. Now, I said undoubtedly the face sculpt has to be better, but I tell you what definitely is compared to the original. These arms, the original figure did not have double jointed pinless arms. So look at this. double jointed elbow, no problem at all, on both sides as well. So the range on this Moonstone is undoubtedly better than the previous version. She can like flex on them like so. So yeah, that has to be better range. And I love the pinless element here to these elbows as well. Bicep swivel, shoulders really go all the way up, all the way around as well. No issues with the articulation there at all. Hair won't get in the way of the shoulders, and there's a hinge at the wrist too. We've got the little patch of yellow on both layers of the torso. They have modded this torso slightly compared to the original Moonstone body. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. We'll look at that again in a second though. On the back, you've got a little Thunderbolts logo there, just a little hint of the Thunderbolts logo to show you this outfit is the Thunderbolts era, as I was saying. Now, what disappoints me about this figure is the pins on the knees. It seems like if they just made the extra effort, and I don't know why they can't do this, I'm sure they have their reasons, but it is very frustrating as a collector because just that little tweak would have really made this a desirable upgrade for everybody, as it is got the double jointed knees, but they've got the pins in it. So yeah, pinless arms, double jointed pinless elbows, but double jointed pins in the knees. It just seems like a mix mash that we could have done without. So yeah, that's very frustrating, but she is on the thicker female leg, so she can stand a little bit better. Ankle pivot, rocker, all of that, swivel at the thigh, all white legs, literally no paint detail at all on the legs. It's all white, but it is accurate to the costume. Little Thunderbolts logo there, a little bit of yellow on the front, a little bit of yellow on the gloves, and we've got two fisted hands straight out the packaging. And we do get a set of interchangeable open palm, more expressive hands, and that is it. That is her only accessory, these interchangeable hands, which, as I said, are a little bit more expressive, undoubtedly, but a few effect pieces would have really spruced her up for a display. I'm going to go through my box in a minute to see if I can find anything to add it to a flight stand and really bring this character to life on a shelf. But yeah, that is what we get here. Now, usually my first comparison would be with the original figure, but as I keep saying, I don't have it. So instead, here we have Jessica Drew Spider-Woman, as she shared that original Moonstone body. And I forgot to get the tape measure out, so I best do that before people get mad at me. And as you can see, Moonstone is about maybe just under 6¼ inches tall, so standard female Marvel Legends, no issues there at all. But what I was pointing out is that they have actually sort of modified the upper section of the torso. Is that the nicest way I can say this without being too crude? Let me see what I've got going on here. So maybe the camera can focus for me. But yeah, this is what we've got going on. They've tweaked it a little bit. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, Moonstone is no longer on the Moonstone body, if you know what I mean. So as I said, Moonstone comes with no effect pieces herself. So I've just went through my box and grabbed a couple of yellow effect pieces. Now, to be completely honest, this probably isn't the best representation of her power, but she can sort of project beams from her hands. So this sort of brings her to life a little bit more on the shelf. It makes the character more fun to look at when posed up on a display. So I've put her on a flight stand, and I've literally just poked the flight stand up under her hair so it'll hold it into position, and then added these effect pieces on her hands, which just make her a little bit more interesting to look at, I think. So yeah, some effect pieces would have really made a difference to include with this figure. I also tried these flame effects on her hands, as they're sort of yellow, but she doesn't have fire powers or anything like that, so I am really reaching here just to try and make her seem a little bit more interesting to look at. But even though it's a simple character design, I quite like it, to be honest, and because it's white, it will definitely stand out. It does against my black anyway. But yeah, I've just put these fiery fists on, but they don't actually attach on very well because she's got the smaller female hands, but they will just balance in position. So yeah, just looking at options. Moving into some Thunderbolt related comparisons. Now, Moonstone isn't the first figure from that box set to get a re-release, as Luke Cage came in the Amazon exclusive Defenders 4-pack and Crossbones came in the Black Widow movie Build-A-Figure wave. In the background, you can see hovering on a flight stand was a grail of mine for a long time, so shout out to Dante from the Infinity Equation podcast for helping me add that to the collection. That is, of course, Ghost, who we have never had re-released. But the three figures in the front have all had re-releases now, and yeah, they look great together, but let's add some more. And would you look at this? Don't these look good together, posed up for a display? Now, this is just one iteration of the Luke Cage team. Obviously, there's a few other members, but these together on a display undoubtedly look good. So happy to finally add Moonstone to my collection for sure. As I said, Moonstone has been a part of multiple Thunderbolts teams. So here we have a couple of Thunderbolt related characters we have in the Marvel Legends line with Songbird and one of the Mech Beetles. I forget which mark. Here we have Moonstone compared to a couple of versions of Baron Zemo, because remember, he was masquerading as a good guy during that Thunderbolts era as Citizen V, but here we've got a more classic Baron Zemo we've gotten this year. And back in the day, Moonstone in her original costume was recruited to the Masters of Evil. Here we have Moonstone compared to Frogman, Tigra and White Rabbit. And last but absolutely never least, here we have Moonstone compared to Captain Britain and Bombastic Hank. So, final thoughts on this Marvel Legends Walgreens exclusive Moonstone. Now, it's always weird saying that considering I never buy mine from Walgreens, but it is what it is. And it is a fair game release here because the original figure came out nearly 10 years ago in a hard to get, sought after 5-pack box set from San Diego Comic-Con. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who do not have Moonstone in their collection that are going to be happy to get the opportunity at a single packed version. And they have tried to upgrade it a little bit, but I understand for some people they should have went the full hog. And I agree, by the way, like I am very disappointed and frustrated that they didn't just give us the pinless legs as well. Like I don't understand logistically behind the scenes why that's not easy to do. Pinless arms, we should get pinless legs. It would have made it a much better figure overall. Very lackluster in accessories as well. Like for the price point, like yes, you've gave us the new arms. We've got a nice upgraded head, but we need more than just one set of hands. As I said, where are the effect pieces? Where are the interchangeable heads? Like, am I being greedy or is it fair to ask these questions? Like, especially when we don't get the full pinless body. But anyway, I am happy to add Moonstone to my collection all the same. It is still an upgrade, but is it enough as an upgrade for people to swap out the version they've already got? I don't know. Personal preference. You let me know in the comments below, and also let me know where your Moonstone is going to be displayed. Has to be the Thunderbolts, right? Always curious to hear your thoughts. Let me know. And as always, if you like Marvel Legends, then you're in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlists, but most importantly, please, 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 hit that subscribe button. Hit all on the notification bell. Don't miss out on a video. And please hit that join button. Become a channel member. Either show some love or join the members club. Much, much appreciated. You can follow me on Instagram at itsdanwho. And I'm on Twitter as well. Tweet me, don't be shy, at danwhoreviews. And as always, my name is Dan W. And I will, of course, see you on the next one.